working on my hydronic heating system, and I was just working away and I forgot to film my process. There's a lot of, look at this. These are all the parts, and there's like just wires upon wires, and the instructions are all in Russian. So I've just been kind of trying to figure this out. I did get this little piece of paper that's in English. It shows the connections of this little timer. And it's like red goes to 1, gray, black 2, brown 3, and it's this little thing where these little clips go into this little thing, and then this connects to this, boop, which is then connected to C, which over here says C is the heater. So this connects to some of these wires somewhere to this. And in this wire bundle, I found these 3 that have the same kind of clip as this one. And it says red, brown, blue, BU, white. And this is red, brown, and a blue and white. So safe to assume that that is what connects to the timer. B8 optional temperature sensor, and connected to this wire was this one, which I can't find where it goes in any of the other equipment that it's come with. So I'm going to guess this goes to the temperature sensor, just so you, in case it gets too hot, it'll shut itself off. If you can see it, there's very, very small little numbers that correspond with these numbers. And the clips go in easy enough, but I'm not sure how to get them out if you misalign one. So be very careful. This is an Espar, and Espar or whatever. It's supposed to be really good. Let's install the hydronic heater. Follow me. This is the gas tank under the sprinter band, and right here is the auxiliary fuel line. Sorry, my hands are all blue because I just painted something. But in the kit, it comes with one of these connectors. This is where the fuel line connects into, little hole, and in this big hole, I don't know if it focused, in this big hole will connect onto this. Perfect fit. I'll move this thing right there. I'm going to tighten it. I need to do this off camera. I push this in as far as it would go. And I'm going to tighten that one. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Now what I'm going to do with this fuel line, I'm going to run it over the gas tank. So it's going to go over, and it's going to come out the back, and that's where, I'll take you down there. And right here, there's the back tire. Right here is where I'm going to put my heater, or the hydronic heater. Looped like that, very gradual loop. Don't want it too tight, just loose up in there. I'm just going to leave it looped like that. Now I'm going to pull, I'm going to go get some coat hangers. There's a little channel right above the gas tank where some of these wires are running through. There's a little channel. I don't know if you can see it in there. Yeah, not really. I'm gonna I'm going to run some coat hangers, tie them together, and go over the gas tank, and then pull the fuel line cable through. In a little tip. Put it over the gas tank first, because if your fuel line comes all twisted, it's going to get knots in it. So don't attach it to a fixed point until it's pulled all the way through. So I had to undo it from the little connector thing, and I pulled it through the gas tank. It's over the top through the little channel. This side came out. This side is now, I'll finish this, and I'll put it back over where I had it and pulled it through initially, and I'll attach it. Yeah, just a little tip. Pull it through first. Okay, everything I just said, forget about it. New plan. I'm gonna run the the fuel line right here on top of the gas tank. I'm gonna zip tie it to these fuel tank brackets, because the fuel pump requires a maximum of 6.5 feet of line to work properly. And when it's coming out the back, it's probably like more like 7 feet. So the fuel line's going to zip tie to here and mount, and I'm going to mount this fuel pump to this little hole right here. And it says at a 15 to 30 degree angle, so something like that. Okay, I'm going to drill me a little starter hole. Where'd my hole go? There's a little paint. Oh. Seal my hole. It's going to be an awkward angle. A little tricky to film this and to screw it. Let's see. Degrees. About there. Now I'm going to, I think I'm on my bag. Yep. Get me a little adapter, hose, holes. And right here. Might have been a good idea to put this on before I put this on. I'll push this all the way up in there. Oh. And another one for the hose. Just tighten them a little bit so they don't slide off. Yeah, that's good. I need to put a tripod on my chest to film these. It's hard. Let's see. Put it right here. All right, now I'm just going to cut this with my snippers. Yeah, about right there. Maybe a little more. Okay. Push that on there. Ow. And also on this fuel pump, you'll see right there it says fuel that way. So from the gas tank through this line up here, 15 to 30 degree angle, because there's like a little filter in it. You don't want it to get like an air bubble or anything in there. And then this side will go directly into the hydronic heater. And here's my wiring job. Nothing, there's no dramatic bends in it, so the fuel can run smoothly through this smooth loop, smooth into the pump. There it is, all hooked up. That's what it should look like. 15, 30, in, out, clamp, 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 clamp. This is where the electronic harness will run, and we'll figure that out when we get there. Woo! It's a pretty sunset. Right here is your Espar S3 hydronic heating unit. So here is the top. I just put these on there. It comes with different adapters for different coolant ones with like a 45, and you can put them this way or that way or whatever, and they just push into place with these this little star thing, and there's a rubber gasket that goes on them. Put it on there, put it in place, and a little star head bit or a star head screw sits it on there nicely, and these go push into place. Okay, I had to use some force and use some two hands to get these into place, but now they're sitting in there nice. The little cap goes on nice, and on top is where it says in and out. On the back side, there is this little, I just tightened this down just to make sure it all fit into place. There's a bag of screws, and I wanted to make sure that was the right screw. So here is the mount that will mount this underneath the chassis. This way or this way. It has two screw holes on either side for multiple mounting options. But what's good about it is that I can actually mount it outside. But there's going to be no combustion inside the cabin. So that's a bonus to this system. Sips a little bit of diesel, runs on some 12 volt just to make it spark. Low energy. A lot of benefits. Looks like this is going to be my mounting configuration. The top looks kind of like plasticky, and this looks pretty robust, so I'm just going to keep this facing downwards. Coolant line's going to go straight up, and right here is like a wall, so they'll be protected there. My hose for gas will run directly into that little port right cant point right there. And then intake on the top will run into this little cavity, and exhaust will run down that channel. So I was installing the heater. Got too dark, so I needed a light to get back to work. Now that we got a little light on the subject, it's too bright. Put it here. I'm gonna mark. Oh, dang it. Where'd my Sharpie go? Ah, it was in my back pocket. That was definitely a two-hand operation. So I held up the heater, put this right there with the heater on it. Took the heater off, and now I marked my holes where the heater is going to go. Now I'm going to pre-drill these, and then use my drill to tap the screws into the holder. just remember, it's always a good idea to paint every hole that you drill. Just so the exposed aluminum doesn't rust. Whoops. Well, that's not pretty at all. That's okay. Okay, mounted up there, got my bolt in there. That's not going anywhere. That's about as far as I'm going to get today. So I'm going to put some tape on these holes so no little bugs, critters, spiders could get up in there. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And good morning. It's a rainy morning. And that's okay. I'm covered under the van. Let's see. Top one is the intake. I'm assuming this thing goes to the intake because of this little fastener thing that's on it. It slides right onto these little grooves. I'm going to mount this right here with probably just one screw. It's not heavy at all, and one screw will hold it pretty good. So when it's mounted up in there, it's going to look like this. I didn't put the clamp on, I haven't screwed it in, but that's basically what it looks like. Bored my hell, painted it. Now I'm going to stick the tap screw into that, and I'm going to do it off camera. Okay, that's on there pretty good, but I feel like it should have come with two of them because there's another clamp on this side, and just I feel like that's going to be doing a lot of rattling. So I'm going to jerry rig something to keep that on there like that. Okay, there's a hole here and a hole here, and I just zip tied it. Now it's not going anywhere, not going to rattle. Okay, muffler goes on the bottom one, and I tighten it down. And the muffler pipe is going to run like this, like that, and it was cut to pre-length, and I'm going to mount the muffler right here. So I got this little bracket that came in the kit where I'm going to mount it to the muffler, like so. And I'm going to put this up here. I'm going to pre-drill it, put it on there. You guys don't need to see that. Okay, now we got, take it off of here. We got a bolt and a washer. Put that on the muffler. It's easier to do it the other way. Push the bolt through the back and then put the washer on the front. Doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to tighten this down. Pick up the tubing. I test the little bracket here. Muffler faces out. The exhaust faces down, out. It's far away enough. The last thing I did was drilled a hole through this. Tied a zip tie through it so the muffler can stay tight against the wall. And that is pretty much everything installed. The gas line, I'm just gonna leave it up there because you gotta purge it before you turn this on, and the only way you could do that is if you hook all the electronics up. So when I get to it, I'm gonna put those little adapters, the little clamp hose adapters to this, cut this to length, attach to that, purge it, and that will be this system running with all the electronics. but all the electronics are going to be in the next video. So that's pretty much it. The exterior part of the hydronic heating system installed. That's all there is to it. Not that complicated. A lot of figuring out because I didn't have any instructions. I watched a couple videos. They weren't the model I had. I just kind of got information here and there and put it all together. And that's pretty much it. Until my next video, when I hook up all my electronics, that's as far as I'm going to go. And then I'm going to have to drill into the floor to hook up these coolant hoses. And that's a whole different component. That's a whole different system in itself. But like, subscribe, comment if you have any questions about what you've seen. Put on your notifications so you know when my electronics video is live. But for right now, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Oh, don't get up that fast.